Yo, what up? So I'm about to explain real quick the gist of these animations that have been you've been seeing in tricking, like just how to do it really fast and maybe some tricks to speed up your process of doing it. Well, so the gist is find the video on YouTube. Go find your whatever. Could be this video, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mike Guthrie's great. Got lots of great clips that could be animated. But if it's your clip, just take it into Final Cut Pro or anything, edit the clip down, and then export the clip to like a master file. So like share it anywhere, like in your documents. Will be like just wherever the fuck. So like right here, here's the combo. There's that jackknife combo from Body of Work, Mike. And Kite really he loved that combo, loved that clip, so he really wanted to work with that, animate it. So you take that clip, and then you're going to open up this program, Adobe Media Encoder. I'm sure there's other programs that can do this. I think there's even some online, like on Google, that can just do it online for you. I just use this. So you open up this bad boy, and all this does is just like convert files from things to other things. So like it can turn a sampler into an MP3 or something like that. So you add your video, so add like the jack combo. And then right here, make sure you click this. Normally it would be on this if you want to like upload it online, have it be a video, some shit like that, and then all these, whatever. But since we're going to animate it, we want it in FLV, we're going to do it in Flash. So you put it into this FLV and then just click this little green arrow. It should go through all of it down here. This is going to play through. It's really quick, and it'll make a nice little sound whenever it's done. We'll hear that in a sec. So then you take that, then you go open up your Adobe Flash, which, here, let me show you real quick how to get Adobe Flash. Just go here. Just open up this bad boy, type in Adobe Flash. Boom. Oh, there's that thing, so the encoder finished. So you're gonna also need BitTorrent. So get BitTorrent. It's free and it's not a virus. It's not illegal to have. This stuff is sketchy. So look to make sure it's Windows or Mac, depending on what computer you have, and then download one of these. This one should be fine, honestly. If it has lots of seeds, it's probably pretty legit. The thingy, this one right here is the one that I use, but I use it on the Mac version. So if you see the thingy, it's usually legit. So anyways, that's how you get Flash. But so that in Flash, now that that video is done encoding, all we do is import video. And make sure you click embed FLV and play in the timeline. Then find your clip or whatever. It should be like in your documents. So make sure it's the FLV one and not the MOV or MP4. So click the FLV. And then, fuck all that shit. None of that shit really matters. It's up to you. Okay, now what we have here is the combo laid out into frames that we can now fuck with and draw with and all that jazz. So just some quick tips real quick. You'll notice that the stage is really small compared to this, so you could resize it and make it small, but it's not even the same aspect ratio. I've had fuck all like terrible days trying to like work animations in at the end, but I realized you can just go over here, click this button, and then click contents, and it'll just make it exactly the size of the stage. So that'll be your stage or whatever. So this is the one layer. This is just the layer where the video is. It's gonna play out just the entire video. We don't want to actually draw on this layer. We want to kind of lock this layer because we don't want to be clicking on it and moving it all the time. So we're going to add a layer with this button. If you like hover over most of the buttons in this program, it'll tell you what they do and it'll tell you the hotkey for them. So like there's that. Okay, so now you can get a little closer view. So now you don't have to, and I encourage you guys, do not animate every single fucking frame. You don't have to do that. Like if you watch anime or like even like old school video games with pixel art, like look at that, look at the way they animate those frames, and they pick very specific keyframes that will, it's like this plus this plus this creates this motion in your head. So you don't need to specifically animate each and every little, oh, just, is that Dion? There's Dion. Who's this fucking kite? Fucking Jihad? Just looking at niggas in the background. Alright, anyways. But Dion Jones is a good animator too. But we got now here's where you can add a new frame. If you want to insert a keyframe or a blank keyframe, you can do it this way. You can do it lots of other ways. Personally, I hold Command and then press 7. Command 7. That just gives me a blank keyframe. So I take the blank keyframe like right here. Like this probably isn't even the best frame to use, but whatever. I'm going to use the pencil tool instead of the paint tool, because if you use the pencil tool, it will separate the lines from the paint, so you can move them independently. But if you paint the lines with paint with the brush tool, then they're one and the same material. So let me show you what I mean by that. So like, here's this shirt for instance. It's red. Okay. Now notice these lines. I can grab them, specifically just the line or the color, and I can pull the line in like that. Or if I want, I can delete the line. Now, if I had done, or I can take all this like this, and I can make the line thicker if I want, stuff like that. So if I did it with, like for instance, I'll do, like if I did his shorts with this paintbrush, then when I go to color it, I won't be able to do this and then make it bigger or smaller, because it only will do that for the lines and it won't do that for the paint. Okay, so that's just like, but I mean, you can tell like it's a different art style, so really this is all art, so it's up to you with like how you want to like do it. But also, other tips to speed you along, I don't color the frames like this. I would never do it like this, one by one by one or whatever. I do it like, I'll do all of it, do all of one thing, so I'll outline everything, and I'll go to the next frame, and I'll outline, I'll take this one, press Command 7, I'll outline everything, make sure everything's all whatever, and do all that shit, and then I'll go back through, and I'll pick one color. So I'll do like, you can take this dropper tool if you want, and it'll help you find colors from the video, if you want to make it a little more realistic. So I can make, then I'll go blue, and I'll color everything blue, go to the next frame, everything that's blue on that frame, click on the next frame, everything that's blue on that frame, next frame, and then go back through with each color. Because I just found that if you have to switch between all these colors constantly for each frame, it just takes way too long, much longer than it is necessary. It's just not fucking necessary. Alright, so other things that can help speed you along, so the gist of, so once you have, let's say you get this frame of a t-shirt, whatever, what the fuck ever. It's up to you to like how high your standards are. Command Z is how you, it's like Control Z or whatever. So then there's that frame, and then there's this frame, and blah blah blah. I use the trackpad. I don't use a tablet, so I use my thumb and finger. But not a lot of people do that. So use whatever you can. Use a mouse. It's whatever. So over here is a button. You see this eye next to this lock? So I clicked the lock earlier, and that means that I can't accidentally grab the bottom. So if I unlock it, I can accidentally grab the bottom and move it around, and that's not what we want. So keep that locked. But if you ever want to check your animation to see how it's like coming along, you can click this button, and it'll show you just the color that you've done. It'll show you the two like back-to-back colors. So there's like the gist of the motion. You get kind of the idea. So then all you gotta do is do every frame you want to do, and you can even, and then go back through, color them, and get rid of this. You can ultimately delete this, and then that's pretty much it, really. Then you just go over here, export to video, whatever, and you can put that back into your sampler if you want, or lots of other things. But here's some other like cool little things that you can think about or do or whatever. When you have these, let's say you have these two frames, And let's say the video is choppy and shitty and there wasn't really an in-between frame that you could trace, or it's blurry or something, and you're like, fuck, how do it's too big of a gap, like that looks too jerky, so how do I add the in-between? So what you can do is click this button down here, which is called onion skins, and there's a different kind of onion skins. So I like this one or whatever, and you can drag these, and then once you get that to the next frame, you'll see there's the outline of the next frame. So what you can do is, and this is how you'll eventually get to freehand animation and shit like that. So you'll make a blank frame here, and now you can see both of the frames, the outlines of what they were and the relative position. So really now what you do is, it's not even really art. You just like don't even think about the whole picture. Just play this mini game where like, alright, both these points are kind of here. So the point that I need to make is directly in between both of those points. Directly in between this point and this point, the bottom right of his shirt. So I'll start right in between, and then I'll look over there and I'll try to follow. These lines are about the same, and then this is about in between, and then I'll go up here. That since they're the same there, I try to make sure that I also go through there while cutting it right down the middle. And I see his sleeve is going up, so if I put his sleeve here maybe, right about here, and then I just kind of like, then around here I just kind of work it right in between. As long as I'm in between those two frames, then I get rid of the onion skin, and I've created an in-between frame for that. So you'll see like the motion is now smoother, and it's like there was no frame that came from. So that's just something you can do to, if you wanted to, you could literally infinitely do this and just keep adding frames, and it would look smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother, and you don't have to have shitty like South Park season 1 animation, you know. But also you should keep in mind that like visually it's kind of jarring to see shit that's like jerkily animated every single frame. It just looks fucking weird. So that's pretty much the onion skins. And aside from that, like other cool shit that you can think about and do is like, alright, Mike's kind of a bad example because he's a great example of how to do a jackknife. So you'll see right there, his leg is like straight, pointed toes. It's like it's pretty fucking flawless form. So you don't really need to do this to cheat, but on like some of my own, I don't mind drawing a little flashier, sort of something like that maybe. Make it a line, so it almost looks like motion blur. Make it look sharper. Maybe even make the kick higher than it was. That sort of thing. So yeah, there's really not much to it. If you want to look over here, here's what Kite was working with, and his style of drawing is like different than mine. So he added a lot more detail into like the actual like body parts and the face and stuff. Like look at that shoe, like damn. So yeah, it's really up to you with your style of how you're trying to animate things, how you want it to look. If you go over here, scroll down here, this stage. So when you remove the background. This stage, you can change the color so it's not white, so you can tell, like if you need a white shirt, you can tell then what's white, because if it's white then it's harder to tell if you clicked everything, you know. So I like to make it like a weird color. So then you can also, if you want, change the frame rate. So for instance, this clip was a slow motion clip that Kite animated. So when it's a slow motion clip, it tends to look like, unless you do every frame, it's going to look like spaced apart frames. So it's a little not jerky, but a little like spaced out. You see? But if you go over here and change the frame rate to like 60 frames a second, maybe, it'll look, that's probably a little too fast, but maybe like 40. But you get the idea of how it works. So you can like work with it. And then, so again, if you wanted to, like maybe this frame to this frame, or this frame, one of these frames is a little too far from the other frame, like this frame to that frame. And of course, make a blank one here. Onion skin that shit. Boom. And that one might be a little harder to onion skin, just because like there's a lot of implied 3D movement taking place, so you might have to like it's difficult to like, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, that's the gist of it. You export it, put it in your video, work really fucking hard on it, and Cool. Enjoy that. It doesn't have to take that long. At first, it used to take me a couple hours, but now I can get an animation done in about an hour. So yeah, cool. Let me know if you guys are trying to do a full animated sampler. We can all collab on it. Be hype.